Hey, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Tuesday morning as I start this 7:40 in the morning, getting the show on the road. 53 degrees this morning, and it's going to be 70 today, so that's going to be really nice. Sun's shining. God, I love this weather the most. Shout out to everybody who took the time to check out the last video that I shared with you, which is actually two videos separated from this video. And that video was talking about my neighbor's car getting stolen and just how much of a shit show it is in my local area with the crime and the police not doing shit. And a lot of people would comment and say it's like that, if not even worse, where they are. Man, it's crazy to think the type of world that we live in these days. Your shit ain't safe. The police ain't doing shit about it. What can they honestly do about it? You know, understaffed, undermanned, underpaid, all of that. Just a fucking mess, man. But thanks for all the feedback on that video. So today, we have one unit going over at property 7, but we're gonna make it 2 because there's that other unit that didn't go from last week. So 2 units, and I'm trying to put as many people to work today as I can. Milton's back today. We should have Donald again, Bo and Jess, and then a new female starting today. I don't know much about her. She stays at the same place where Bo and Jess stay at, and supposedly she's got a good head on her shoulders, got no drug addiction type of deal, and has minimal painting experience, but possibly can pick this up. We'll see. We'll see. My game plan would be to have 3 people on each unit for today. And if I can do that, then that would be great. So I've also got Tom. Tom's going to Lowe's first thing this morning to pick up 2 fence pickets. And he's going to do those 2 fence pickets that need to get done at my house. And then he's going to paint the entire back of my fence. And then the city can kiss my motherfucking ass. Talking about fix your fence. I'm real tired of these people telling me what I need to do when they ain't doing shit. They're quick to tell you all sorts of shit that you're doing wrong, give you tickets for parking in front of your house. They've done that to me twice. 2 different occasions they've done that to me. Yet let some crime take place and them motherfuckers ain't nowhere to be found. So I'm gonna head to the storage unit. I'm gonna meet Bo over there. It's 7:44. I gotta get to property 7 by 8:30. And okay, as I begin this, I'm going to share the story about what happened with property 8 and property 7, and how we lost property 8, and how I felt like we were about to lose property 7, but we didn't. All right, so here's the deal. My wife is the boss of property 8. We are painting for property 8. Property 8 is owned by a small company that owned property 7 and property 8. My wife's boss, which is a big boss, came into town a month ago or so. This is a normal thing. They come every so often, whatever, and everything was fine while the big boss was there. Lo and behold, it really wasn't. We just didn't know it then. My wife goes on maternity leave. On the day that she goes on maternity leave, I'm coming home at 3:30 in the afternoon, and literally as I'm walking in the door, my wife tells me, oh my God, I just got this email. She was sitting there FaceTiming with family and guest checking her email. And this email came through right as I was coming through the door. And it was from her boss, the big boss. And this email basically says, I know you're getting ready to go on maternity leave, but I just want to let you know how disappointed I am in you in the job that you have been doing. And then she would go on to list these bullet points of things that she was disappointed because of, i.e., wreaths used to decorate the property for Christmas. Said the wreaths looked tacky, looked like they came from Walmart, should have done better with that. Said she was disappointed in the way that my wife was dressed while she was in town. My wife is 9 months pregnant, or was 9 months pregnant during this time, so you know, to talk about the way she was dressed was, in my mind, wrong. The whole wreath situation is a matter of opinion. Nobody had commented saying the wreath, there was anything wrong with the wreaths. It's not like she went and bought cheap wreaths. She went to Target, she got the wreath to decorate the property. No complaints there, but the boss didn't like that. Anyways, long story short, all of these complaints, this little nitpicking bullshit, and there were more things. The fact that there were locks on the cabinets in the clubhouse near the coffee machine so that people couldn't get to the coffee. All properties have their coffee machine areas locked up. You're not going to go in there and ransack the stuff that's in there. Said, you know, the locks give it a bad look. If you're going to lock it, you should have used childproof locks. Locks are locks. That's just my opinion. And everything this lady was bitching about, that's, in my opinion, just her opinion. She mentioned the way my wife was dressed and how she looked at 9 months pregnant. She mentioned the wreaths. She mentioned the locks on the cabinets. She mentioned that she had gotten a bunch of complaints about my wife and the job that my wife was doing at this property. And then finally, we get down to what she's really mad about, which is the fact that she had found out that I was painting at the property, which supposedly was a conflict of interest. And, you know, she felt like it was done behind her back and, you know, whatever. The fact of the matter is, that ain't the case at all. And to add a little footnote to this story, this big boss, her husband at one time had done tree work, or, you know, something along the lines of done tree work for the properties, which, hey, I'm a painter. He's doing tree work, you know, if it's kind of tit for tat, tomatoes. So couldn't understand how this really came to be. And then, you know, she said, you know, I question your integrity was something that she had mentioned, because I'm painting at the properties, doing a professional job, you know, no complaints there, whatever. And all of this would get us to thinking about how this even came to be. And here's how I believe it came to be. I could be wrong about this, but this is a pretty plausible explanation. Over at property 7, my wife runs property 8. Over at property 7, the boss over there was under the gun quite a bit and had a target on them for potentially getting ready to be fired for the job performance they were doing over at property 7. And there's a lot that I could share in relation to how that whole thing has been going, but that's not for none of this. You know, one thing that I can say is a good example of not doing a good job over there by this boss is people were moving into apartments. This happened, I guess, on numerous occasions, where people would move into an apartment on the day that they got their keys to go move in. They go into these apartments. The apartment had been painted, but it hadn't been cleaned, and the carpet hadn't been replaced. This had happened on numerous occasions. Can you imagine going into a luxury apartment? You get the keys to that, and you walk into a fucking mess, dirty, carpet looks like shit, paint all over it, whatever. Like I said, this happened on numerous occasions. Well, this also happened while the big boss was in town. They went to walk some units, supposedly, and the big boss saw some units that looked like shit, paint all over the place. So when they go into these units, and the boss sees this paint on the carpet, mind you, this is just my assumption at this point, what happened. All I know is that they went into these units, the big boss did, and saw paint on the carpet. So I assume that this is how this thing went afterwards. Big boss sees all this paint on the carpet and is like, yo, who the fuck is painting these units? And this boss over at property 7, knowing that she done fucked up again, didn't get these units completely turned, not cleaned, not carpet changed. She did the only thing that she knew how to do. Threw us under the bus. Again, this is just my assumption. Pretty sure it's a plausible explanation on how all of this came to be. Who's doing the painting over here? Boss over property 7 says Rainey's husband is. He's the painter. Big boss is like completely not even thinking about the fact that these units haven't been turned. Is only thinking about the fact, wait a minute. Rainey hired her husband to be the painter over here? That's a conflict of interest. Why didn't I know about this? We ain't even thinking about the fact that these apartments ain't the way that they need to be. We ain't even thinking about the fact that this paint looks great. Carpet looks like shit, but it was supposed to get replaced. You was never supposed to see that carpet. Mind you, everything's still hunky-dory. Boss stays in town, smiling, you know, carrying on with my wife. All the while, I guess it's trying to build a case against my wife to potentially get rid of my wife is what I truly feel like. She's mad about two things. One, she feels slighted by the fact that I was the painter. I don't know why I'm holding up 3 fingers. And two, my wife's getting ready to go on maternity leave. Why are we gonna pay her when we can just get rid of her and put this other girl in her place? And mind you, boss over at Property 7, now that you've thrown me under the bus and also my wife, hey, you Gucci now. Now they talking about putting you at my wife's property and moving some pieces around. So, like I said, Big Boss is still in town. Everything is fine, no issues. They're building the case. They go talk to the maintenance guy over at Property 8, the property where my wife works at. This guy, I know this guy well, smiles in your face. He is a not so great guy though. Very snake type. He tells the big boss when confronted with this information, like, yo, did you know that Rainey's husband is the painter at your property? Oh, I didn't know. Hey, I ain't know. Right? But no big deal right there. He's got to save himself. He's got no stake in this and whatever. Not even mad at him for the situation. Surely didn't go to bat for my wife and surely didn't, say, hey, well, they're doing a fine enough job. Nah. Matter of fact, you're probably going to throw us under the bus even more now. Whatever there. For this lady to make this big fucking deal about this situation, which really, we didn't even do anything wrong. I have a perfectly legit apartment painting business. So it's not like anything was undermined with this situation. And to be honest, Property 8 ain't even that great of a property to me anyways. Property 7 is. Property 8, nah, not so much. Long story short, this email would wrap up saying that they wanted to put my wife on an employee improvement plan, which basically my wife tells me, she's like, look, you don't put anybody on an employee improvement plan because you want them to improve. You do that because you want them to quit. It feels like at this point, they're just really trying to get rid of my wife. These wreaths that were decorated, the property was decorated with, they were perfectly fine. Nobody had any complaints about that. And this lady actually went out of spite and went and bought like $2,000 worth of wreaths or some extra bullshit that wasn't even needed like 5 days before Christmas. Why are we decorating 5 days before Christmas? Also, she had mentioned all these complaints about my wife that she was receiving. I told my wife, when you respond to this, you tell her, hey, show me those complaints. Matter of fact, the numbers don't lie. Since my wife had been at this property for a year, the numbers had improved. Profits had improved at this property because my wife was renting apartments, getting these numbers up and getting the rent increased. That's what an owner of an apartment complex wants. When you own apartment complexes, that's what you want your manager to do. You want them to get that rent increase. My wife was doing that. The profits were increasing across the board. So even if there were complaints, any apartment, you're going to have complaints. When people ain't paying their rent on time, they ain't going to think that they're wrong. They're going to think you're wrong. Long story short, it's a bunch of bullshit. So I told my wife, clap back, and she did to a certain degree. She responded to that, not tucking her tail, but saying, you say that you're disappointed. I'm disappointed in the way you're going about all of this. Not even talking to her about this first, just acting on straight emotion. And that emotion is you feel butthurt by the fact that Rainey's husband's the painter. When your husband, at one point, was an arborist. So, whatever with all of that. Since this has taken place, this has been a week or two since all of this has taken place, Property 8 has since canceled all of their paints with us. And the writing is on the walls right there. We're fired from Property 8, whatever. All we do are repaints there. We are easily replaced at Property 8. But Property 7, we do color changes. And mind you, at Property 7, we are actually the cheaper quote they received. I don't know what their other quotes were, but I guess they had gotten some higher quotes and we were the cheaper price. So it's not like we're even charging even more money. Long story short, it's a bunch of bullshit. And at this point, I told my wife, I said, man, you don't even got to go back to this. You ain't got to go back to that. You can run the painting business, is what I hope that she'll do. We did absolutely nothing wrong. These people at Property 7 were not doing their job. Because of that, they threw us under the bus to save their own asses. And in turn, my wife has damn near lost her job or doesn't even want her job anymore. And Property 8 has fired us. That's the story. I got to get to the storage unit. I'll share more in a little bit. All right, Ben left from the storage unit on our way back out to property 7. I met this new person, this new young lady that's going to be starting today. We'll see how that plays out. Minimal, basically no painting experience. Definitely doesn't look like a drug addict. Definitely judging this book by the cover, but not able to tell whether or not they're going to be a good worker until we actually see. Hopefully they will be. That person is going to work with Bo and Jess. Just keep that situation the way that it is right there. That way there's no issues anywhere else. We'll see how they work out. Hopefully they work out well. So, sorry I ended the story time so abruptly, but I mean, that's basically the end of the story. You know, kind of a shit situation, but what are you going to do? And guess we'll just wait and see how it all plays out. Whether my wife stays working at this job where, you know, she feels like there's a lot of bullshit with these folks. Whatever. Anyways, so moving on, something else to share with you guys. Today, my son has his 2-week doctor's appointment. He's actually 2 weeks old today. Little boy, 2 weeks old. When I go to do this doctor's appointment, I've got something that I'm gonna go buy. I have been buying all sorts of really wild prison items lately. One of them came in the mail yesterday. I can't wait to film a video about it. I almost brought it with me today. It's a prison phone. This thing is fucking dope as shit. By the time you're seeing this, there may or may not be a video on After Prison Show about this prison phone, but it'll be coming soon. It'll probably already be filmed at the very least. So the prison phone came in. I got this prison VHS tape coming in soon. I need to find a VCR for that. And then today I found, or I'm going to buy some jail bars. I actually found some jail bars from this guy, and I've dealt with this guy in the past. I bought the paint cart from this guy, and the jail bars are kind of rusted. I'm thinking about getting them painted, making them, you know, prison gray or whatever, and then having them in my little she shed filming studio with the little ambient light behind them. Oh man, that shit's gonna look dope. Just think of the skit videos I could film with the jail bars and the prison phone. I could literally almost set up a set. I almost have a set that could be set up. You know, I didn't know if I was necessarily gonna get back to the skit videos doing After Prison Show, but it's more so coming. It is. You know, when I talked about my return and what I was planning on doing, that was something that I wasn't really thinking about, but it's certainly on my radar right this second. So maybe, especially when it comes to this prison phone and this video I'm getting ready to do in relation to that. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun with that. Anyways, I get excited thinking about filming videos. So maybe today I'll get a chance to do that. I got to do some invoicing today. Make sure that both of these units over at Property 7 go off without a hitch. Check on the unit from yesterday. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Make sure my fence gets finished today. Tom's going to be taking care of that. Edit some video. Make sure my son gets to the doctor's appointment. Go pick up these jail bars. Yo, a lot of shit to do today. And not a lot of time to get it done. Will we be able to accomplish all of these tasks and jobs? We should be able to. We certainly should. All right. Let's go see how this unit looked from yesterday and make sure we can get into these 2 units for today. All right, I hate the fact that I'm filming all of this up in the truck, but it's 1:06 in the afternoon. It's 70 degrees, 69 degrees right now, and I'm on my way back to my house. My son just had a doctor's appointment. He was 9 pounds, 8 ounces, something like that. I think he was 8 pounds, 9 ounces when he was born 2 weeks ago. And he's certainly putting on some weight. He's put a pound on in 2 weeks. So that is awesome. Or in a week, actually. Everything was good with my son's doctor's appointment. And I just went and met with a guy, really nice guy. I actually really get it. Really nice guy. I bought a prison bars. I bought some prison bars. They're in the back of my truck. I'm going to make a prison cell sort of a look. And we had a long conversation about what I was doing with them. I told him about After Prison Show, so I'll probably end up checking that out. And like I said, just really cool guy. I told him he's gonna get a kick out of seeing what these bars end up turning into. And yeah, so I'm on my way back to my house. I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to get this heavy ass shit up out of the truck by myself. I'm gonna try. But I wanna share with you a little bit of an update. And it's crazy because I'm just sharing with you the story about my wife's job and how all of that shit just seems to be them wanting to get rid of my wife, but legally they can't get rid of my wife because she's on maternity leave or FMLA, whatever it's called. My wife was actually supposed to go into work today while on maternity leave. She had to go into work today and do some stuff, and she's still doing things for her work. But she just found out that they're bringing back the person who my wife replaced. And if that ain't just pretty shitty and really upsetting to my wife. If you think about the email and all of the shitty things that were said in the email in relation to me painting at the property, and here's the crazy thing, is it me that painting at the property that's the cause of all of this? Did I just get my wife basically fired from her job? Maybe. Obviously not on purpose. Or is it that, and also the fact that, you know, my wife went on maternity leave and they just don't seem to like that. You know, they told my wife well before maternity leave that they were going to pay her for maternity leave, which is something that a lot of companies don't really do. Did they overreach and overpromise? Now they don't want to do that. Possibility. It was also mentioned, and I just want to share this. Somebody would tell my wife that this big boss had said at one point when my wife first started working for this company, mind you, all of our IVF struggles and infertility struggles that we've gone through. Somebody would tell my wife that this big boss had said, and don't worry about Rainey ever going on maternity leave. Like, literally, this is something this lady said. And you don't have to worry about Rainey ever leaving or going on maternity leave. She doesn't want to have kids. Can you imagine? Now, mind you, that's just hearsay, what I share with you. Could easily be denied. But why would somebody tell my wife that this lady said that? Why would somebody also tell my wife, another maintenance guy who no longer works at the company, matter of fact, he was fired right around the time that my wife began working there. He would tell my wife on day number one, hey, if Sticko, the other maintenance supervisor, well, the maintenance supervisor, if he don't like you, you ain't working at this company. We got thrown under the bus by Property 7. This would be a domino effect that would lead all the way over to Property 8. Big boss would go and talk to the maintenance guy over there. Hey, did you know that Rainey's husband is the painter? I didn't know. Of course he knew. Of course he knew. Yeah, she can't, hey, man, she can't be. So here's the crazy thing. They're bringing back this other person who used to be doing the job that my wife had. My wife took over when this lady was leaving. They've brought her back. God only knows what kind of promises and guarantees they've told her and why they seeked her out. Because ultimately, they probably seeked her out. You told my wife that she's going to go on an employee improvement plan when she returns. It's almost like they're doing everything that they can to showcase to my wife that they do not want her there and they want her to quit. And they can't fire her while she's on maternity leave. Can you imagine if my wife stuck this out? Stuck her tail between her legs the entire time and just yes-embossed this entire situation, got back to work after maternity leave just to get fired. I told my wife, fuck this company. Fuck this lady. And really, it's not even fuck the company. The company has done nothing wrong. It is the big boss. It's all her doing. It's her way or the highway. Your decorations weren't good enough. They looked like they came from Walmart. You can't put locks on the cabinet. You got to put childproof locks on the cabinet. You know what kind of a look that sends? What kind of a message that sends? This is a luxury apartment complex. This lady is not even... hands-on at all over there. I mean, she's not there very often. She doesn't know what's going on. And really, like I said earlier, it's the numbers. Yo, the numbers don't lie. My wife has been doing her job, getting them rents increased, getting profits. But you just want to fire her, either because I was painting over there or because you don't like children. Good God, Joe, you are fucking institutionalized. I just gotta tell you. Yes, indeed. What the neighbor's gonna think seeing me pull this shit out? There'd be some prison bars all day long. Joe. Oh, God. Damn. Hey, man. Them joint. Heavy. And they're going in here. I don't know where they're going in here, but they're going in here. Or are they going in here? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a 2x4 frame around this, right? So that they actually stand up and they're tall enough to reach me. Shit. Oh, there's a mark on the lens. It's not a scratch. Nah, it came off. Yeah, so they're tall enough to reach me, and I can actually utilize these in a video. Oh man, those are gonna be cool. Those are gonna be cool. I just need a backdrop. Maybe I can paint this to make this look like it's prison bars. I mean, blocks, cinder blocks. That's what I need that to look like, cinder blocks. So if that looks like cinder blocks, it's gonna be a tight shot. Anyways. Hey, yo, yeah, I'm in jail. Whew. The fuck I'm doing? Huh? What I'm doing with these? Getting ready to do prison ASMR again. I promise you that's what I'm getting ready to do. And I got some other props. I got that phone too. Shit. Hey, shit, they're trying to fire my wife. You know I gotta get on the grind, y'all. Get on the grind with these videos. I need a background. It's gotta be here. It's gonna have to be here. I may have to go back to the green screen here. And then have the shot from here, the bars right here, green screen the blocks in. Hey, yo. Is it your first time in here? It is. All right, anyways, enough of that.